The news in English on 98.0. Brief.
Participating in Mkamba Akabalega Independence Run. Women members of parliament cautioned against resorting to witchcraft to secure seats in parliament. A DR Congo member of parliament handed death sentence over treason charges. Good morning, our dear listener. Thank you for listening to 98.0 Breed of FM. It's 9th of October 2023, and the time is 8 a.m. This is our morning news read to you by Vivian Amara. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwo, has advised women members of Parliament against relying on witchcraft as a means to secure seats in Parliament. Taiwo made the remarks as he participated in an engagement with the Parliamentary Women Prayer Forum to discuss closing the gender gap and providing support for women leaders. Taiwo emphasized that representing and advocating for women's interests would be the most effective way for them to maintain their positions in Parliament. He urged women members of Parliament to actively address issues that specifically impact women, as some of these matters may not be fully understood by male members. Achira Road Police Station and Kampala Central Police Station have received over 80 complaints from victims of the Capital Chicken Ponzi scheme. Brito FM understands that one of the complainants lost as much as 420 million shillings. Sources have said a retired security officer invested over 380 million shillings, while another retired civil servant invested 420 million shillings in Capital Chicken. It has been understood that some people had invested a Myoga funds in Capital Chicken. The managers of this Ponzi scheme were promising a 15% a monthly profit for every amount invested in the chicken business. Capital Chicken had its main office along Kanjocha Street in Kampala Central Division, where individuals entrusted their money for investment with a promise of returns. In the nearly 3 years it has been in existence, Capital Chicken appeared to run smoothly and its clientele kept growing. Local jury, the Deputy Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson said the clients became skeptical when the manager started telling them to come back later when they wanted to collect their profits or capital. A huge shock emerged on September 29th when individuals arrived at the office and unexpectedly found it closed, although OSGRA had earlier computed the lost money to be 1.6 billion shillings. It is alleged that the money is now nearing 2 billion shillings as more complaints keep coming. More than 500 people on Saturday participated in the first ever Kabalega Independence Run organized by Nyorokitara Kingdom. Excuse me. The run was organized to commemorate the 100 years since the demise of Mkama Daudi Chwatu Kabalega of Nyorokitara Kingdom. The 5-kilometer run was flagged off by Andrew Byakutaga, the Prime Minister of the Nyorokitara Kingdom, at Hoima Boma Grounds in Hoima City. The proceeds from the run will be used to support and fund the education of vulnerable children in the Nyorokitara Kingdom under the Kabalega Education Foundation. Byakutaga said there are many vulnerable children in the kingdom who would wish to continue with their education, but due to financial constraints in their families, they could not go further with their education, tasking the Banyoro to always extend a helping hand to vulnerable people. According to Byakutaga, the run was also organized to recognize the tremendous contributions made by King Kabalega to the people of Nyorokitara Kingdom and Africa. Let's hear from Byakutaga.
obusagiki buno bumukuleeta nibo bugenda kukola ebigenderwa ebyomukolo guno ebyo embiro zino kutandika Kabalega Education Fund ekujja kubonezagika abaana baitu abatakusobola kwerolera rundi abazaire abatakusobola kusomesa abaana nabo ekyo mbasimire muno nywenda ekiro kino kikateekanizibwa kiri kimu ebitugenda kora nkijuka emyaka 10 kuruga ikingura Kabalega yatuulize rundi yafiire emyaka 10 kwijuka ebirungi ebyakolere Bunyoro bebingi muno ntugamba nti naitwe nk'Abanyoro tukusobola kwegeraho ebite byakozere kutwara Bunyoro no maiso abakwa Bunyoro mukimanya ebintu bingi byenyegesa nebindi twikaire tuli enyuma baitu omuntu arasobola kuba yakozere kintu nkeke kingura Kabalega emyaka 10 yatwara Bunyoro maiso yakiteranza hamu yarwanisa abanyaziko bakandi bende kumara Bunyoro.
Dr. James Isagara Kasoro, the Executive Director of Kabalega Foundation, says it is paramount to raise resources and support the education of vulnerable children within the kingdom. Kasoro says the run will be conducted annually. Let's hear from Dr. James Isagara.
Bena kurango kuiruka kuntu wakuteganiza buli mwaka buli kiro tuwaza amanzi Kabalega tumwenyumirizamu bena kurango tuina ebyo kumwijukiraho kandi ebintu bikuteraniza emizano kiri kimwe kiteraniza abantu kandi tukwenda kurango kuiruka kuno omukuteraniza tuina mune byomugaso mwaka gwo tukagamba leka tuteekanize tuiruke kusagika ebyenyegesa egenderwa kyaitu kiri kyokuiruka ku establishinga Kabalega Education Fund. Kabalega Education Fund buli mulama okurangu twayongera amaani mu byenyegesa byaitu hano Bunyoro na handi kandi okwiruka kuno ndenda kurangu twatunga ensimbi ez'okutandikawo fund egyo gutandika omulingo gwonka ogw'okuteekamu ensimbi baitu okutandikawo ntuseera n'emiringo endi kurangu twasagika abaana baitu abalina amagezi baitu abatalina obusobozi bw'okutunga okusoma.
The run was organized under the theme Run to Celebrate a Hero's Legacy, Run to Educate a Leader of Tomorrow. Kabalega was born on 18th of June, 1853 to King Achebambe before Kamara Semironti Rokanama and Kanyange Nyamtahiungura Aboli. He was the 23rd king of the Babito dynasty. He became king of Bunyoro in 1869 when he was still 16 years old. He was captured in 1899 and exiled at Seychelles Island, where he spent 23 years. Kabalega died on April 6th, 1923 at Mpomude in the current Jinja district, Busoga region, on his way back home. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Justice Jane Francis Abodo, has expressed concern about understaffing in her office, revealing that approximately 40 districts do not have prosecutors. These remarks were made during the induction and swearing-in ceremony of 100 newly appointed state attorneys in Kampala. Abodo explained that they currently lack prosecutors in 101 courts, and despite the recent recruitments, they are primarily strengthening existing DPP offices. Let's hear from Abodo.
And also people come to follow up their cases, people come for advice. So we need some prosecutors to be sitting in office. So the ideal situation is that we should have more prosecutors than even judicial officers. But now so it should be a ratio of 2 prosecutors to 1 judicial officer. But as it is now, the judicial officers are still more than us. And we are actually not present in about 41 districts. Even with this 100 we are going to take, we are not present in 41 districts. And we are not going to be present in 101 courts. We are not. Because what we are doing now is just strengthening the existing stations that we have staffed, because the staffing levels were really, really so low.
In response to questions about whether the understaffing affects the 48-hour rule of producing suspects in court, Abodo acknowledged that it is challenging to observe this rule given to the circumstances. Suspects may take advantage of the situation. Abodo highlighted that the office of the DPP last hired prosecutors in 2015 and has been operating with a structure designed for 300 prosecutors, even though an approved structure calls for 800 prosecutors. Addressing the new prosecutors, Abodo, who has been a prosecutor for 24 years, urged them to maintain professionalism, integrity, and hard work. She emphasized the importance of maintaining a high level of ethics, especially since prosecutors' salaries are now tax exempt. Let's hear from Abodo.
They're coming at a time when we have salary announcement, a time when the salaries of prosecutors are not taxed. So we need accountability from them, which means that really we shall put them on high alert, especially on corruption. We do not condone any kind of corruption, whether it is real, whether it is perceived. We do not want any kind of corruption. And anyone who engages in it, and we investigate and we have the evidence, we shall prosecute them, and they should know that. And so that's the message I'm going to give them, that they're going to the field, and they should also know that they're coming here. It's a service. They're not coming here to get money. They're in the public service. So prosecution is about a service. Prosecution is about us being ministers of justice. We are the lawyers for the people.
A military court sentenced DR Congo Member of Parliament to death on Friday for treason and involvement with the M23 rebel movement. The death penalty is often handed down in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but has not been applied for 20 years and is systematically commuted to life imprisonment. The public prosecutor had in August requested life imprisonment for Edward Mwangachuchu, aged 70, who represents the Masisi constituency in the National Assembly and also owns a mining company. Presiding Judge General Robert said Kalala Mwangachuchu, who was not present at sentencing, was found guilty of illegal possession of weapons and munitions of war, as well as treason and participation in the M23 insurrectionary movement. Mwangachuchu was first held in Kinshasa's main prison, Makala, before being transferred to the Ndolo, a military prison where the 30 or so hearings in his trial were held. Mwangachuchu's lawyer said he will appeal the verdict, calling it a trial based on ethnic hatred and deductions. Thank you, our dear listener, for listening to 98.0 Pre-Top FM. That has been a morning news read to you by Vivian Amara. Have a blessed day.
That was the news in English on 98.0 Pre-Top FM.